probably don't need a microphone anyway. I'll ask the first question, and then you can take it from there. You know, whenever we say new media, we often think social media, 'cause they get it, Facebook, et cetera. But it's so much more than that. Would any or all of you explain what is pre-roll video? What is word search? How do these Facebook ads pop up? Could you explain that? Because collectively, that's new media. It's not just Facebook.
Well, you like the pre-roll.
Yeah, I love pre-roll.
And we'd like to tell all of our friends that make TV ads that we can help extend the reach of your ad hugely. And when you decide that you want to do that, come to us to buy the pre-roll for you, because we know what we're doing.
Now, let's explain. What pre-roll is if you go, I think we need to get back up just a little bit.
Pre-roll, yeah. What is it?
Yeah, whenever you go try to get the weather, an ESPN score, or whatever, and you see an ad, and you see it's 10 or 15 seconds, which means you don't have time to go get a beer, you sit there and you watch it, right? That's pre-roll, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what we've done now, again, Google, I sound like I work for them at times, and sometimes, yeah, exactly. They just do things on such scale and so cheaply. It allows us to get into areas where maybe we haven't been before. But with their in-stream ads and the pre-roll, in essence, what we're doing now is delivering these 15-second TV ads, made-for-TV type ads, and we're taking them, or web, and we're delivering them out, and you have to consume them and listen to them before you can get what you want. But the difference is we are delivering them at an astonishingly low price. This last cycle, we were looking at about 3/4 of a cent for every view that we forced somebody to watch of our ads, and that's a big sea change. Plus, the targeting wasn't as great in 2010 of pre-roll ads as we would have liked. It'll get better because it always does.
Well done, thank you. Okay, questions for this esteemed panel, please. Oh no, that's not a chance. Anyone? Everyone understands all of this completely. That's impressive.
Okay,
hats off to you.
Do you want to talk about likes and monetizing likes? Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
We got a lot of questions in the last panel about that. I'll just start off and then throw it to these guys. Somebody in my office was saying this, and I thought, oh, that's pretty smart. They were saying that social media is the sexy app, mobile media is the future app, but email is still the killer app. And at least from a fundraising point of view, that's early on in campaigns, 80–90% of the money is coming in from a direct ask through email. So here you've got Facebook with all of this stuff going on. Why should you drive people to your page? Why should you have them like you? Because you can give them ads. Okay, maybe they work, maybe they don't. All of you who raise money are going to probably say, no, we're not raising any money on Facebook. Okay, so it's a 3-step triangle process. You have someone like you, and then the next step is to have them do something with you. Sign a petition, support you on something, where they are also giving you their email address, and then once you have their email address, you are asking them for money, and it's a circle. It's maybe crass to talk about it in those ways, but that's really how you monetize your likes. And email, somebody else was saying quite rightly that younger people are texting now, and they're not emailing as much as they do text, which is fine. But right now, our donors are still older, and especially on the Republican side, they're older. So we want to talk to them in the medium in which they're used to hearing from us.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question is, the value of a fan depends on what you use it for, right? If we need to get much smarter about how we use social. If we use it to talk at people the same way we do other channels, they're not worth a lot, to be honest. I think if we use them the way that Becky's suggesting, and bringing them into the email programs, building a online identity for our candidates the way we would talk about a personality for a brand, and really using it as a communication channel, really looking at the feedback we're getting on Facebook so that it's a two-way street, and being interactive, potentially building apps to make it a little more practical. I think then there's a lot of value. I think the value of social to me more broadly, one, there's a ton of data there, but the value of social to me isn't us talking to a large universe of followers. Having worked with the Obama organization, we have quite a few fans, but if we just talk at them, it's not helpful. The when I think of how we can use social well, and then we can start to put some value on this stuff, and definitely the fundraising piece, and I agree about how to do that via email, because that's still the way most people raise money until the FEC decides to change some rules. The way I think you use social is getting people to talk to each other. That's the value of social, is the credibility people bring to their own friends and their own networks. Some most recent interesting example, I think, was what the DNC did in 2010 with the Commit to Vote Challenge. We did something similar with Vote for Change in 2008. The Commit to Vote Challenge is basically, we were trying to get people to vote. Not all the elections went all that well, but actually we were able to track quite a bit on this.
The elections went really well.
Depends who was voting. The premise was essentially this, is that we needed to get people to commit to vote on election day. We knew they supported us, but wanted to actually have them come out and vote, our own Facebook followings. What we were able to do is, with a very simple tool, and actually we did most of it off of Facebook, you could do it on Facebook too, was we were able to not just get people to commit to vote, but then get the challenges, how many of their friends could they get to commit to vote. We made it really easy for them to ask their friends, and then we built in a gaming element to say, how many people have you gotten to commit to vote versus your friends? And made it a competition so that people were really doing it. And that was one of the few things that we've done recently that I think was legitimately viral in terms of its ability to grow. And I hate that word, but it really was. For each person we were getting to do it, many, many more were actually doing it. I mean, I think things like that, once you start to actually see, wow, these people are committing to vote, you can start to put real dollar figures on it. But we were able to do that by having this initial seed of, this fan base to go out to. So I think it's about how you use it, but I think, we have to look at whether it's offline, whether it's dollars, whether it's votes, whether it's absentee ballots or registrations or what have you. But I think we have to look at it in those terms.
But back to Facebook again, I don't want to be doing an advertisement for Facebook, but just how people are consuming media is so different today than it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We no longer spend time driving people to websites, hoping that they'll do or read something. People receive media, it's pushed at you. So we need to be in the business of outbound marketing and finding a way to put the information where people are, a la Facebook. A couple of years ago, the big thing amongst our peers was Ning, and everything was going to be Ning. Well, who's using Ning? So we don't know, but if things trend like they are right now, I can see in 2 to 4 years, we just don't do websites anymore, but we build it all within a Facebook-like community. Maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's not. We got to be where our people are.
I'm in this conversation, I'm reminded of, I guess it was 1989, so 22 years ago, and I was exploring new media on Prodigy. And this was right before the internet. And proprietary platforms emerged. There was Prodigy, CompuServe, AOL, and Genie. And you could email your friends on Prodigy if you were a Prodigy member. But you couldn't email your AOL friends if you were on Prodigy, right? There were these closed gardens. And I think similarly today, when we talk about Facebook or LinkedIn, or there's these walled gardens. And Becky, you started out with integration, and I used the word convergence. I think over the next couple of years, the walls are going to fall away just like they did 22 years ago. It took a year, 18 months, but pretty soon, Prodigy members were able to email AOL members and Genie members, et cetera. And I think that you're going to have this, for lack of a better term, ubiquity. When you're consuming media, you're going to be doing it in a social atmosphere. And that could be on the web, it could be on your phone, or it might be in your living room watching TV.
Right.
So I think the walls will come down.
Yes, fantastic. Yes, Mr. Stone.
So you made the compelling argument, and I bought it, that new media and the internet should be at the campaign table. Now tell me, or tell us, how you have enhanced all of us folks who do old stuff, and how we can take the sexy stuff you do and make our stuff perform better. If you could give sort of specifics on that.
Maybe I should give you a tale of two campaigns. I'm not going to say who they are. But we did 2 statewide Senate campaigns, 2 of the bigger states. One campaign embraced what we did completely. The other campaign was very typically Republican, and yeah, well, we don't really need that. Here's your spot over here. The one that embraced us completely, unfortunately, didn't win. But we ended up mobilizing thousands and thousands of people in a very blue state. 40% roughly of the income of the campaign came from online. They were doing things that they'd never done before. Too bad they didn't win, because it would be a better story. The other campaign did win, but they did it the hard way. You know, it's kind of like reinventing the wheel. You're using all of these man hours, volunteer hours, to do things that we can do in an instant online, really very efficiently and cheaply. So the TV example is one, but there's almost nothing that we do offline, as Andrew was talking about, that we don't also have a solution of how we can either support it or generally not replace it, but usually support it or enhance it and make things a little bit better. Your voter mail, fundraising mail, always works better when we have an email component at the same time. You're just reinforcing message. We, as an industry, the new media, always felt that we had to deliver message differently, that people that were online thought differently. Well, it's just not the case. Maybe it was at one time. Maybe we just thought we were special. But we can tailor to you how you receive the message, because we know so much more about people and how they want to consume what the communication from the campaign is, for instance, if that's helpful.
The question was, how do we help the old guys? I'm an old guy. I've been doing this for quite a while, and I'm a card-carrying member of FART, which is Fathers Against Radical Teenagers. My answer to that question, and I need to tread a little bit lightly here, but Campaign Grid's about really, we have 2 missions. Okay, one is to deliver the most highly targeted audience we can deliver to a political campaign. And the other mission is to educate. There's this, you know, I've been the .com guy with the black turtleneck and the know-it-all without looking at the data, okay, just opining, right? And I think the .com world, whether it's .com 1.0 or 2.0, has plenty of those people. So I think the new media folks in the world could have a little humility when they're working with the old guys like us. And I really question, and this is where I could get myself in trouble, I question whether or not there even should be a quote-unquote new media consultant. You know, this should be so baked into every campaign. You know, you don't have a car consultant. You know, you don't have a postage consultant, right? If you're really going to be successful here, then you need to be sitting at the big table, not the illegitimate kids table, okay, at Thanksgiving. And what we're doing to enhance that is we spend a lot of time working with our channel partners to keep them up to speed on what the latest and greatest is, and also to tell them when, you know, that fad is past. Ning, okay, hot new thing. Not so much anymore. So we're spending a tremendous amount of time arming the incumbents.